Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. So, I'm coming in here very quickly today to share a very powerful awareness I had recently around why so many empath entrepreneurs, highly sensitive people feel so tired, especially when they're around other people. Okay. And this is something I have been digging deep into for so long. And what I'm going to share with you is probably going to surprise you in the same way that it not only surprised me, it also transformed my life very recently. So, before I just name it, because it's a very clear and simple thing, this is basically what is exhausting you as an empath. One of the things. I'm going to illustrate it with a story that recently happened. And I will tell you from experience that I used to do all the practices. I tried everything. I mean, I would go out and then I would come home and I would do all these clearing techniques. Or before going out with people, I would do all these grounding techniques and all of this shielding and all these visualizations and endless, like cutting cords, like all kinds of things. And unfortunately, nothing worked. I mean, it did to the best of its ability. But what I'm sharing with you today is actually the root of why most empaths feel very tired. Now, if you're not an empath or an introvert or a highly sensitive person, what I'm going to share with you might be like, what? What are you talking about? Why would you get drained around other people? Because if you're extroverted, you actually fill up around other people. Introverts actually get drained around other people. And typically, empaths who can feel everything around them are picking up a lot of energy, and it can be extremely draining because you already have your own things to deal with, right? Um, so feel free to write in the chat. I'm going to just be in here pretty briefly today. Hello, the queen, chosen one. Um, so this is the story. This is how I learned this. So recently I was in Peru on retreat. And I know you're like, can you just give me the answer? Like, what is it that's making empaths tired? It's going to be more powerful if I share this story because it'll make you really understand it. And then I will name it for you in very clear terms. So I recently was in Peru with Jason, my beloved, and we also work together and we co facilitate, we run a coach training program together. So we do a lot of work in the world together, holding space as teachers, coaches, leaders, healers, that sort of thing. And this time, when we were in Peru, he was holding a retreat for his private clients. So these particular clients had hired him to go to Peru for 2 weeks and travel to different places and do deeper spiritual practices and things. And I, because of just ensuring that this is his retreat and his clients, I decided for the first time in my life to take a step back completely and not engage at all as somebody who's like consulting or coaching or helping, keyword, we're going to get to that. Somebody who's consoling others or stepping in to make them feel better. I simply showed up as a participant. I showed up to receive. I showed up to be present. I showed up to enjoy the beautiful places that we were going to. And I had said to myself that I'm only going to hang out with these people, these beautiful people nonetheless, but I was only going to touch in with them like every few days because that's what I used to have to do as an empath to keep my energy high so that I can do my work with clients online, etc. But something really interesting happened. I was with these beautiful people and expecting that the next morning I would would feel very groggy and I had to do all these clearing techniques, but that didn't happen at all. I had spent all day with them the first day and the next morning I woke up energized. So I was like, okay, and I hung out with them again the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day for 2 weeks around a group of people. I felt energized the entire time. Now, for an extrovert, this is normal, because extroverts feed off of other people's energy and love the engagement and the interaction and the connection. When there's like bustling things going on, they love that typically. For an introvert or for an empath, it's the opposite. So I was really confused. I was like, what's happened? And I thought it was Peru, which probably played a role, but it has actually remained permanent. I've been back in the States and hanging out with people, and I don't get drained. And it's because of this one thing I realized. And my teacher, Leonard Jacobson, helped me with this, and it changed my life because he named it for me. He told me exactly why I used to get drained. The reason I used to get drained as an empath, and check this out for yourself if this is true for you, is because I was constantly in the business of helping people. Whenever I was with somebody, I was helping them. I was thinking about how I could make their life better if they shared something instead of being present and allowing them to go through their process and listening, trusting their resources to get through it on their own, and me being sovereign in my world and they're sovereign in their world. Instead, I would trespass and help them. And most of the time, that's what they wanted. They would ask for help and those sorts of things. But I was harming myself and my health because I was moving around in life helping people. Now, hold on. I know right now you're like, what do you mean? Like, that's what we're supposed to do. If you're a coach, if you're a healer, if you're an empath, if you're a big hearted soul who wants to see our world better, that would be the obvious thing, right? Is like to go and help people. But when I sat with my teacher, Leonard Jacobson, and I said, I don't get it, because he named it for me. He said, you weren't there helping, you were there participating, you were present, you were enjoying your time. You weren't you weren't basically opening your fields to other people's energy because you were just being present. You weren't getting wrapped up in their stories. I said, but you, Leonard, are a powerful teacher, have transformed my life. You have helped thousands of people's lives. You're in the business of helping people. What do you mean? Like, how do you not get drained? And he said, I'm not in the business of helping people. And I was like, what? He said, I am present with the person in front of me, and I share love and I share compassion, but I don't try to fix them or change them or take on any element of their story. I don't see anything wrong. I see life unfolding, and I'm just present as that person is sharing, expressing, and unfolding. That subtle perspective shift has changed my whole life, and I have not been tired around people as an empath ever since. And so I ask you, if you have been exhausted by what's going on in the world, exhausted by people in your life, are you constantly trying to help people? Do you believe that you are here on earth to fix, change, help, heal, console other people? And if you do, you might reflect and notice, first of all, if that's draining the crap out of you. Second of all, if you are really here for those reasons. And is it possible that people are actually here that people are actually here not to be helped or saved, but to actually be present and to awaken and to enjoy this life and to gain the lessons we're here to learn, etc. So if you are tired as an empath, I just invite you to think about this. Think about, what is it in your life that has drawn you to help others? For me, it was my value was based on helping people. That's how it felt to me. It felt like if I don't give, then I'm worthless. And in writing a memoir, it's been really liberating. I'm in the process of writing a memoir, and I've just been really pulling apart all the patterns that gave me a health diagnosis a couple years ago, which came out of the blue, which I've subsequently moved through, thank God. However, there was a really big lesson in there, and that's why I'm sharing this live stream. If we don't tap into our innate worth, an innate sense of how valuable we are, not by doing anything, not by giving anything, not by looking a certain way, talking a certain way, just by being here, being present, having a beating heart, breathing and listening and being present with the person in front of you, that's actually the highest form of value we can give. And ironically, we teach this in our coach training program. Deep listening is the foundation. However, I didn't realize I was subtly helping people all the time instead of listening, really. Um, yeah, just getting involved where it actually is a lesser, it definitely helps, but it's a lesser path to making our world better. Because if I am just sitting with you or you are sitting with me and we are just hearing each other without taking on the other person's stuff, without worrying about them, without thinking about what we need to do to help them or save them, a whole new experience opens up of connection, of relatability, and of trust. And so this might be a very unpopular topic because for an empath, healing others is actually where our value comes from, or so we think. And it stems in childhood. It's much, much deeper of these survival mechanisms to make sure everyone is pleased and everyone's okay so that we're safe. But that is actually not safety. It's a mask. It's a mask, and that's a whole other video which I can get into, which I had a deep discovery in my own journey recently on that too. So, are you tired? Or if you're not tired, are your clients who may be empathic or highly sensitive or introverted, are they tired? And there's a combination of reasons why this is one powerful element I've shared in past videos. Doing too much of what we don't want to do and not enough of what we love can make us very tired. And being in the business of helping people rather than just listening, being present, trusting their journey, trusting they have their own capacity and resources. And instead of giving from an empty cup, just simply keeping our cups full and sharing from the overflow. So, if you feel called to serve somebody or help somebody or give something, that's a very different thing than, oh my God, I have to save this person and being in a panic or worrying about them, which actually drains us. And then it doesn't even help them because, as Leonard said really powerfully, when we go to help others, we're actually rendering them helpless. We're believing they're helpless. So, something to think about. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying this is correct. I'm saying it has changed my life. I'm saying I'm showing up with people very differently. I'm saying that I feel so grateful that I finally found the source of what was making me so tired around people, because it made me really sad that I'd have to kind of put such strong boundaries around myself and limit my time with people, whereas now I don't have to do that as much. So if you got something from this video, if you think, this is something that might actually be at the source of why you feel tired as an empath, you can give this video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button. I make videos on soul-centered life and soul-centered business. And if you really are just in a very low frequency right now, and you need help and you would love to command your frequency, you would love to feel more empowered in your life, you can grab the free workshop that I have below. I am actually, hey, Tammy. Oh, yes. Yeah. The queen, chosen one, is also an empath. I think we have a lot of empaths here. Actually, if you feel like you're an empath and if you're an empath, highly sensitive, or introverted, or all three of those, or two of the three, if you could write them in the chat, I would love, love, love to know. And yeah, you can just grab my free workshop below, and that I think will really help you to raise your frequency and feel a lot better. Because in the coming year, I've been saying to people, 2023, the year of setting ourselves free. We are preparing ourselves for something really powerful. And may this video help you to close this year strong, clear, empowered, feeling so good in your life. And let's finish here with a deep, deep breath in And exhale it out. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Here's to being present rather than having to run around helping people, saving people. What if the deepest love we can give others is actually seeing them, hearing them without an agenda to do anything other than be love and share love? All right, my friends, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.